So, there's this debate that's been bubbling under the surface for years, right? Well, thanks to a few posts that went viral, it has absolutely exploded online. And it all comes down to one big question. Is technology finally, for real this time, about to make the real estate agent totally obsolete?
I mean, really think about that for a second. Could a piece of software, an app on your phone, handle what is probably the single biggest, most important purchase of your entire life? That's the real heart of the conflict we're digging into today. That classic battle between the human touch and the cold, hard efficiency of an algorithm.
And get this, one claim that's been making the rounds online says you can buy a house on a platform like Opendoor in just 12 minutes. Yeah, 12 minutes.
Okay, look, that 12-minute number might be a little bit of marketing magic, But the point it makes is crystal clear. Software is taking over huge parts of the home buying journey. We're talking pricing, offers, contracts, even financing. All these things that used to be squarely in the hands of a human agent are now being automated.
And that brings us right to the first side of this whole debate. For a long, long time, the tech world has been looking at that traditional real estate commission and just seeing a massive, juicy target ripe for disruption. Let's unpack why they think the agent's days might be numbered.
And this, right here, basically sums up the two warring camps. You've got one side that is absolutely convinced that tech is going to completely replace agents, and then you have the other side just as convinced that tech will simply augment them, make the good agents even greater. This quote from Blake O'Shaughnessy really hits the nail on the head for the disruptors. What he's saying is that companies like Opendoor, whose whole goal is to make buying a home ridiculously easy, are proving that people want a simpler, smoother, and maybe even agent-free experience.
So this is basically their game plan. Tech platforms are just going down the list one by one and automating everything. They're using massive data sets for pricing, they're using digital tools for offers and contracts, and they're bringing financing online. I mean, every single thing on this slide used to be a core part of what an agent did.
But hold on. Let's not call the fight just yet. It's time to hear from the other corner. Let's get into the defense of the human element, from the industry vets who argue that there are some things you just can't turn into code.
And you really can't get a more passionate defense than that. That's Mike Hickman, a real estate CEO basically throwing down the gauntlet. He is 100% certain that AI is not a real threat to his profession. So why is he so sure of himself?
Well, for starters, the numbers don't lie. According to the National Association of Realtors, a huge majority of people, we're talking 88% of buyers and 91% of sellers, still choose to work with a real, live human agent. It seems when it comes to one of the biggest, most stressful decisions you can make, people still want a person they can look in the eye and trust.
And the entrepreneur Marcus Lemonis adds a really interesting twist here. He's saying, look, it's not about AI versus humans. The real winner is going to be the AI-empowered human. The agent who figures out how to use these incredible new tools to serve their clients on another level, that's the person who is going to absolutely dominate. And that's really the bottom line for this side of the argument. Real estate is local. It's not about big data. It's about knowing the vibe of a specific street, understanding the politics of a school district, and building real trust with people. And that's something that software, at least for now, is pretty bad at.
Okay, so we've got these two very strong, very different arguments. But what if it's not a simple choice between replace and survive? What if what we're actually watching is the industry going through a massive, and maybe even long overdue, evolution? Let's go back to the numbers for a second. The number of real estate agents in the U.S. already peaked at 1.6 million a couple of years ago, and it's on its way down. This isn't just some theory we're talking about. The ground is already shifting under everyone's feet.
And come on, we've seen this movie before, right? Remember travel agents? Expedia didn't kill the industry, but it totally wiped out the agent who just booked flights. TurboTax did the same thing for accountants who just did simple tax returns. The billion-dollar question now is, what's the Expedia for real estate going to be?
Now, you might want to sit down for this next one because this is the real story. An analysis found that the median real estate agent, the one right in the middle, completes fewer than 2 deals a year. Let that sink in. Less than 2.
And that wild statistic leads us to what might be the single most important idea in this whole thing. The industry isn't just big. You could argue it's bloated with casual part-time agents. So technology and AI, they aren't coming for the top producers. They're coming to professionalize the entire field by making it a lot harder for the part-timers to stick around.
So after all that, what does the future actually look like? Let's get to our last section here and try to paint a picture of the agent of tomorrow, the kind of professional who isn't just going to survive this change, but is actually going to thrive because of it.
The agent of the future is going to be a hybrid. They'll be super tech-savvy, using AI almost like a partner to handle the grunt work, which frees them up to do what humans do best. They're going to double down on building deep, real trust with their clients. And they're going to be true hyperlocal experts with insights that no algorithm on the planet can match. It really is the best of both worlds.
Which, of course, brings this whole conversation right back to you. After hearing all of this, what do you think? The next time you have to move, when you're buying or selling your home, are you going to put your trust in a person or in a powerful app? The future of an entire profession pretty much hangs on how you answer that question.